So this week, I just gotta say goodbye to your wallets. I have too many great recommendations. I can't even limit it down to 5. So, sorry, honey. Hello everyone and welcome back to Married with Comics. I am your host Laura and this is the best co-host, my husband Scott. So we of course are here to talk about our pull list items or recommendations for this upcoming week. Normally I try and give just 5 titles that I'm looking forward to, maybe some suggestions on like variant covers to keep an eye out for, and maybe some trades, but my list is a little long this week. I'm in trouble. Before I get into all the goodies, quick reminder of our 250 subscriber giveaway, which we are hoping to do on Sunday. I will have more details on that on our Wednesday video, and I'll do another reminder on our Friday video. Wednesday and Friday videos are released at 11 o'clock in the morning, so you can definitely check those out. I'll have more information about our upcoming live giveaway of a copy of Chew and Witches.
Bless you.
No. Chew.
Gesundheit.
You're gonna love the series. We do have a 500 subscriber giveaway. Now this one is dedicated to people who are subscribed and commenting on videos because it is that amazing, special, awesome. It is a Ken Lashley cover of Non-Stop Spider-Man issue number 1, but it has been remarked and signed by the artist. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that really is a cool cover. I'm gonna start because mine's gonna be really quick. And then you can listen to the rest of the video of Laura. But mine this week includes Batman issue 111. So this is the prelude to Fear State. If you've been following along with Batman, there's a lot going on in the city with the mayor, and there's just a ton of action, which of course in Batman you would expect that. But this issue in particular is setting up something, this next little mini-series it's going to be running. With Scarecrow heavily featured, so I'm looking forward to that. You also have Extreme Carnage, Lasher. So this is Lasher number 1, but it is the 4th installment of 8 for the Extreme Carnage miniseries. If you've been reading this, wow, like they are not pulling punches. People are getting surprised by who's surviving and who's not, perhaps. I will say this, I like the fact that they didn't kind of leave everything in suspense, but we all know that there is still a possibility that something could change towards the end of the series. They're just not leaving that like wide open door of, oh, they're gone, perhaps. So I like that. Also on my list this week, Silk number 5. This is just a fun read. So Dan from our local comic book shop, Ultimate Comics in Raleigh, described this series to me as kind of Spider-Woman meets the Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt. I like that. I like that show, first of all. And I like this approach. I don't think, that the Silk character is quite as naive about the world around her as Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt's main character is. But the way that she kind of is experiencing things on her own and through her own eyes as a part of the Spider family, but also removed from that Spider family, in this series at least, is kind of cool. She's dealing with a lot of different things on her own. Also on my list, Sinister War number 2. So Amazing Spider-Man has been building up, and the Sinister War feature itself is basically, what if everybody that hated Spider-Man came back to kill him at the same time, but they also were each kind of divided up into their own teams. Doc Ock's heading one, the Vulture's heading the others, but it's 6 on 6, but they're also at the same time all 12 gunning for Spidey. Pretty
That's
intense. Cool. Really cool. If you haven't picked up the first one yet, I highly recommend it. Issue 2 drops this week. The last one on my list, X-Men number 2. So there was a big X-Men number 1, multiple variant covers last week. I was very bad and got more than I had planned originally.
Which is why I don't feel so guilty about this week.
Not at all. She has no reason to feel guilty at all. But of the variant covers that I got, I'm still waiting on one actually, a connecting cover that was damaged. But ultimately, the issue itself was worth it. The various covers I just got for collecting for myself. The storyline though is really, if you enjoyed House of X, Powers of X, and then kind of jumped into the multiple, the Hellions, the Marauders, etc., and are enjoying it, you like the X-Men enough that you know, if you're familiar with them enough that didn't throw you, and it kind of maybe pulled some of us back in that maybe had dropped off, keep going with the series. It's getting better and better in my opinion.
So my list. It's a little long. So let me just start with the new series.
I'm gonna be over here just...
I'll try not to insert a Scott bot. So, first ones I'll talk about are the new series that are dropping this week. So we have The Joker Presents a Puzzlebox. And this one's really cool. So you basically have a puzzle box that must be solved before morning. And the only expert that could help navigate the extremes within, Arkham Asylum is the Joker. So it's going to be really, really intriguing because, of course, you have the mystery of the puzzle box, but then you also, everyone knows that when the Joker is being used as an ally of some kind, that he can never be trusted.
Something's wrong.
So this is going to be really, really cool, and it definitely sounds like it's going to be one of those crazy, psychological thrillers. So I am super excited. The A cover is it's very unique. So yeah. I'm looking forward to that one.
It looked cool.
The Me You Love in the Dark. This is a Scottie Young series. It's beautiful. So the variant covers that are available on this, you would be so proud how much restraint I have shown on not getting all the variant covers. There's one particular one that I'm still debating, but I'm resisting.
So all the variant covers you haven't gotten yet. You need to just slide that in there.
Yet.
Leave that door open. Okay.
I mean, if they go on sale...
Oh, sure.
I'm just saying.
Whatever.
Magically, they show up at our doorstep. It could happen. So, The Me You Love in the Dark is a thriller story. You have an artist who basically moves out of the big city to a small town, takes up this beautiful home, and then, of course, she's a painter, and then there's, something that goes on in the dark. And so it's kind of... The way that they described it was Stephen King meets Neil Gaiman, which you give me that description and I'm in.
Yeah, she's in.
110%, but the artwork is beautiful, the concept was great, and then you throw in kind of the Scottie Young artwork, which in this case, it really fit, especially with the main character being an artist herself. So that's really, really unique. And the one thing I will say, though, I know my description of it was very vague. I think they're doing that intentionally so that way you don't run into that dark blood situation where you get into issue number 1 and you already know exactly what's going to happen. So I do expect this series to be a sleeper hit where some people may look at the description and say, well, I know nothing about it. Maybe I'll just wait for everyone to decide. And I do think some of these copies are going to disappear. So if you are on the fence in this series, I'm very excited about it. So at this point, I'm recommending it. I will definitely drop a, this is what I've read so far review as soon as I can. But this is one that I've been keeping an eye out for. Next one is Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood #1. It's Deadpool. And it's amazing art. The only question is whether I'm just going to go for the A cover, which is gorgeous. The 2 series that are continuing, we have Geiger #5, which I have been describing Geiger as one of my favorite independent titles that has been released this year. We're on issue #5, so we should be getting a trade paperback very soon for those of you that have been waiting. The series has not disappointed. There's been a ton of action, but I am waiting for it to do that next plot twist. It's coming. You can just kind of tell they're building to that point. The other one is Nice House on the Lake, issue #3. This has been by far my absolute favorite series this year, which, there have been some amazing series so far. So saying that is so tough, but I will say it catches you from the first issue, and each issue now they're focusing in on one of the guests in the house. And it's not just their perspective within the house. Now we have some extra twist that keeps happening in every single issue. I know they're only 2 issues in, but I expect that extra twists to keep happening as we're now learning a little bit more about Walter, who has invited everyone to the house, and extra things keep happening and they discover more things in this house. So cool.
Sounds cool.
Am I done? No.
Oh, no.
Next one is the variant cover recommendation. Now, Stray Dogs. I have done 2 separate videos on Stray Dogs because I love this series that much. That one is also one of my favorites for this year. It surprised me to no end. It's also been one of those series that has taken off like crazy. It seemed right before issue number 5 dropped, suddenly everyone else got on board with the series, and those variant covers, the horror homage covers, have been going nuts. So this is the final horror homage covers that'll be available for the single issues. Yes, right now they are going nuts with the horror variant covers on the trades. Oh my good lord. I think there are 7 out right now just for the trade paperback.
Got a cool con story to share with you guys in another video that involves Stray Dogs that happened to me actually just yesterday. So
Very
I haven't even told Laura yet, so I'm going to share it with you guys and her at the same time. Stay tuned.
So this week's Stray Dog covers. So we have Dracula, we have The Craft, and I apologize, like there are 3 other ones. They're all very good, but my all-time favorite, it's a 1 in 10 variant cover, and it's an homage to The Crow. It's mine. It will be coming home. I am so excited.
Did anybody notice that she likes The Crow a lot? Has that been put out there yet? Have you?
I don't think anyone has realized how much of a fan of The Crow I am.
Really?
I like.
You haven't done a review or talked about it yet?
I'm waiting until Halloween.
I'm shocked.
So I have been insanely good.
No.
But let's just say there is a love of Brandon Lee's movie, and if they do a remake, God help them. You can't redo The Crow.
You have been warned.
But then I also love the comic book.
Yeah.
So there's an appreciation and a love for both as their own separate entities, and there's just wonderful things about The Crow. So The Crow being the variant cover, I'm in. But wait, there's more. Bad Idea Comics. We have The Lot issue number 2 and Tankers issue number 3 are dropping this week. The Lot, I'm only halfway through issue number 1. Thank you, Robert, for recommending reading it. I almost waited a bit longer, and so far I'm only halfway through, but it's been really, really great. So I'm looking forward to finishing that one and grabbing issue number 2. Tankers has been more of an action story, not terribly complicated, but beautiful art, and just a lot of shoot 'em up, blow 'em up. Nothing wrong with that. The other one that drops this week is we start the final 5 Bad Idea Comics titles. So the first one is going to be Passive Aggressive. It is written by Matt Kindt. When Bad Idea Comics was advertising the final 5, they kept saying that this was the title to grab. I don't know if I believe their marketing scheme because they have let me down in the past, and they have also surprised me in the past. So I have no idea what to expect. What I will say is the concept is a vigilante whose bank account has been hacked and all of his money has been stolen. So guess what he's going to go do? Go get his money back. It could be really cool. But it's Bad Idea Comics, so it could also suck. I don't know.
Wow.
It's a 50-50 shot, genuinely. The trades that are coming out this week that I just wanted to highlight. First one is Monolith, which is a magnetic press title. You have no idea how many takes of that I had to do to get it right. Oh, don't make me say it 3 times fast. So, Monolith is a type of indestructible car. And this woman has been driving around with her and her son in the vehicle, and at some point she exits the vehicle and it locks with her son inside. And because it is an indestructible vehicle, she has to figure out how to get in before now the sun is rising in the car, temperatures are starting to rise, and her son's life is at risk. This was a title that was highly, highly recommended to me months ago when it was in the single issues, and I told the person who recommended it to me that I would be grabbing the trade. So wanted to kind of pass it along that this one was a title that I was told definitely grab. The Sandman Deluxe Edition Volume 3 drops this week.
Ooh.
So, yeah. And The Amazing Spider-Man, if you were a fan of the Todd McFarlane run, this is the omnibus with just those issues.
Yeah.
So there is a direct marketing cover that was supposed to have the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 300 cover. There was some debate at one point that cover had been replaced, but from what I saw, it still had the correct cover. If any of you buy it, let me know if that one is the correct cover, because that would be the one that I'd be interested in. And I think that is the end. Whew! Are you excited? Because I'm excited. So, back to my husband. So, we did have 3 quick questions that I wanted to answer, and then we will wrap up. First question was for you.
Awesome.
You haven't heard enough from him today. So, the question was, do you recommend reading Batman Eternal and Batman and Robin Eternal, or would you recommend other Batman series that you've been reading more?
So, my answer to that depends on what you're looking to read about. If you are interested in the Bat family, meaning that dynamic within Batman's universe where it deals a lot with his personal relationships within his own actual family that you see portrayed and that they portray in the comics to the outside world, being him and Alfred. And then also, him and the Bat family, him and the Robin, plural, etc., him and Dick Grayson, then I highly recommend you read both Batman Eternal and Batman and Robin Eternal. If, however, you want to see Batman throw down against his arch enemies, the Arkham Asylum's top 10 list, it's not the go-to. There are other series that I would recommend. City of Bane, The Killing Joke. There are a lot of others. Even this Fear State that's going on, and the Preludes coming up to it in the current run of Batman, the single issues. That's been very interesting. Interesting twist going on there. But yeah, if you're really interested in the Bat family, yes. And there's nothing wrong with, there's action as well, but it's very family focused in my opinion. Focused on the Bat family in my opinion.
Second question was about Lady Mechanika and whether I recommended it. I did put in the remarks section, the video review that I did for Lady Mechanika. The only thing that I will say is it's definitely a title that you can have a younger adult read. This is something that if you've got someone who's kind of graduated out of the super young adult titles and they're trying to get to that next level, but you're not ready for them to jump into sheer bloodshed that we sometimes have in our graphic novels, this is a great title. The only thing I will say about Lady Mechanika is it is definitely like your Indiana Jones really fun adventure. Self-contained stories typically, but they're kind of a little lighter and fluffier. So for me, I can't do a ton of them back to back. So still recommend them. There is a free comic book day issue of Lady Mechanika that is coming. Can't wait. I think it was a lot of fun, and the artwork is gorgeous. So quick shout out to Robert, who gave the best pirate joke so far in the comments.
Yes.
Which was, why do pirates never remember the alphabet? Because they get lost at sea.
Yeah.
But someone did ask, we talked more about the historical references on Anne Bonny and Mary Read, and they wanted to know if at the back of the trade was there anything from Stephanie Phillips about the historical accuracies and some of the research that they had done. So this is the first one that's just her general explanation on the overall history and what they were looking for when they were writing the title and their own interpretation of Anne Bonny. And they ran into the same issue that we described before, where a lot of this is folklore. You don't ever have a definitive case. You have a lot of conflicting theories on these characters. So she talks a bit about that and why they came up with their version. This one is where they're talking more about, how and why they designed the pirate ship as such. And then there is a final statement at the very, very back, right here, where she pretty much thanks everyone. So there is some kind of bonus content that's in there, but if you're looking for like a breakdown of every single detail, it is not there. She does tell you which book that she uses to get some of her reference material from, but it's like anything else where she doesn't list every single folklore, but the folklores all kind of conflict. So Wednesday we will be talking to you all about Comic-Con, because we have some amazing stories apparently that we get to share. I'm going to show you all of our goodies. I've got some montages, some great things to show to you all. Can't wait. But in the meantime, down in the comments section, let us know which titles you are grabbing this week, because I want to know if I'm the only one that's having a very big week. It could just be me.
I doubt that.
And we will see you all again very soon. Have a wonderful day, everyone.